Welcome to the Fashionable Life. I'm your host, Erin Noel, a creative director and fashion stylist based in Los Angeles. I help women look and feel their best through their choices in fashion and style. My mission for this podcast is to help you build a life that reflects your truest self in style and inspires you to live beautifully and authentically. We'll explore everything that contributes to a fashionable life, from style, interiors, beauty routines, wellness, and more. We'll delve both into inner and outer beauty because I believe that true fashion starts from within. I'll also be sharing an abundance of style tips and behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to run my business as a fashion stylist in LA. Join me as we uncover the secrets of living a life that is not only stylish, but also deeply fulfilling. Hello, and welcome to the second episode of The Fashionable Life. I'm so excited to be here. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. Please feel free to email me. I'll link it in the show notes. I would love to hear from you, any thoughts or ideas that you have for this podcast. This podcast is as much for me as it is for you. I really am here to help you develop your style and chat about fashion in a really fun way. I feel so lucky to live in a city like Los Angeles and work in my industry. There are always so many events happening. And one of the brands that I love, Genesis Leon, has a store in Culver City, California at the Platform. And that is a new-ish shopping center that has a lot of really unique special stores. And they were doing a fall festival tonight. And it was so fun. And Genesis Leon has two of my favorite hats that I wore all summer. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw me post about them. They are great summer bucket hats. I have them in black and I have it in a natural color, but they also produce wool hats and sweaters and cute dresses and belts, and there's a lot of fun accessories there. So I had a really great time just walking around and seeing everybody get all dressed up for fall. It was so fun. I'll link my two favorite hats in the show notes for you as well. And if you are looking for a sustainable hat line, I would love to talk to you about it. And feel free to DM me any thoughts or questions that you have around Genesis Leon hats. It's such a great investment. And what I love about her brand is that she really focuses on having a hat that you don't necessarily have to rebuy. I think a lot of companies want us to come back season after season, and she wants it to be a hat that you feel like you can pass down in your family and a hat that serves you for life. And I think that's such a beautiful way of looking at product versus I need to buy something new every single season. And on that note, I want to talk to you about how I heard from Shein this week in my email inbox and how I handled it. It is such an interesting situation to be dealing in a world in fast fashion and making a choice to stand out in your industry versus maybe receiving product that you don't necessarily stand behind, or just because you might need something for your kit. And having something for free is so much easier than going on buying something. But one of the stances that I have taken, especially working as an assistant to a stylist in several years ago who was very serious about sustainability, is that was something that I really want to make sure that I'm taking a stance on in my day-to-day as a stylist and my offering, and making sure that I'm knowing about sustainability. And I'm nowhere near perfect or one of those stylists that only share sustainable options. So I want to be clear about that, but I do try to be mindful of what I am sharing. And I received an offer to get a package of gifting from Shein this week, and I turned it down. And I think it's important to know that as somebody in the space that's receiving offers for gifting on a regular basis, I get products sent to me weekly, which is beautiful because I get to discover all these amazing pieces, but I am very particular about what I receive, and I will absolutely turn something down if I don't think that I'm going to use it, or if it doesn't stand with my values and how I see fashion. And I thought it would be helpful for you to hear how I responded. I posted about it on my social today. But I essentially said, thank you for the offer, and I can't support Shein's manufacturing process or the environmental waste that they generate. I'm committed to working with brands that align with my values of sustainability and ethical production, both for myself and my clients. And I want to say that because I think with influencers and with stylists and with all of the content that's being shared on a daily basis, I want to be someone that's known for being very picky about what I receive and what I share on social. And everything that I share in terms of links on my website and product that I share with my clients is vetted by me. So I've either tried the product, tested the product, seen it in person, tried it on, can stand behind the brand, have context with the brand. And I make sure that everything that I suggest, both on Instagram or any kind of social platform or any link is vetted by me, and it's a product that I stand behind. And I really believe that is something that's so important, being in my space and having a platform, is making sure that I have products that I stand behind. Because if my client has a problem with something, or let's say something falls apart, I want to make sure that I have the right contact to resolve that problem. And I can say that that has rarely happened. I think last summer I had one client that had an issue with her shoe when she went to a wedding, and something happened with the leather, and we got it repaired for her right away. And I think that that is the beauty of working with a stylist, but also making sure that you're standing behind quality products. So I felt like that's something important for you to know about me. And while we're talking about really great products, I want to talk to you about Klee Cosmetics. So if you're not familiar with Klee, they're a minimalist, modern beauty brand known for using skincare first ingredients. And I am in love with their CC cream. A year ago, I received this product as a gift, and I'll have to look and see exactly what color I use, but I'll make sure I link it properly in the show notes. It is the most wonderful cream. It offers coverage. It nourishes my skin. It has SPF in it. It's such a beautiful base layer for everyday makeup. And I'm all about a minimalist beauty routine. I use a lot of Westman Atelier. I use a lot of Merit Beauty. I kind of have a mix of mostly clean beauty, I would say. I do have some regular beauty products that I use. I love the Benefit brow gel. I think it's awesome. And I also really like Rare Beauty brow gel, and I have different brow pencils that I use. There's so many different things, but I really want you to know about Klee because I think it's something that everybody can use. It has sunscreen, it serves as a foundation, and it's a great everyday makeup. And I have bought these tubes 4 times over. They also have a great hand cream that has a Palo Santo scent, and it is delightful to keep in your purse. You can use it on your lips, you can use it on your hands, you can use it on your body, you can use it in your hair when you have flyaways. It's such a fabulous product, and I love a multi-use product, and it's clean and smells wonderful. So I wanted you to know about that because I think sharing products that will help the world go around and make people happy is part of my job. And I love talking about product, and not in a salesy way, but oh my gosh, you need to know about it. And I think that's part of the reason why I've love what I do is I get to share the things that I'm most passionate about and give a perspective and share products really organically. And that's always who I've been as a person. I'm very passionate about restaurant recommendations and hotel recommendations and product recommendations. And I'm trying to lean more into that side of myself instead of shying away from it, because I know that I have a very particular taste, but I know that people will benefit from hearing my point of view. So if you check out Klee Cosmetics, let me know. They're available on Revolve, but they also have an e-commerce store. And again, I'll be linking all these products for you in my show notes. And if for some reason you can't find them, DM me. I'm happy to send you a link to anything that you're looking for from a show or a previous recommendation on Instagram. In the last episode, we talked about how to navigate the influencer world and all of the excessive links that we're receiving on a daily basis. And I feel like this is an episode that you can reference at any time, because the world of links and sharing product is not going away. And I'll be sharing product and links, and so will all of your favorite influencers and friends, and it can be overwhelming. So whenever you're overwhelmed, please go reference that first episode. I really am proud of it, and I think it has a lot of valuable information. But continuing on the conversation of how to navigate and find your personal style is so important, and one of the first things that I do when I work with my clients. And I thought I would share some of the tips on how to navigate this in your own life and to kind of dig into your fashion history and figure out what it is about your personal style that makes you tick, what makes you different. I believe that there are so many different factors in the world that can tell us how to navigate our personal style. There is products out there to style you by your body type. There's color analysis. There's the Kibbe program, which is based on body type. And then, of course, there's stylists with their own opinion. But I believe that personal style starts from the inside, and it's how you feel on the inside and who you have been created to be, which then gets reflected on the outside. And I believe that every person has style. I believe that every person has a creative point of view. Even if you don't think that you do, you do. However you're putting things together, whether you have been taught to have style or whether you haven't, is unique to you. And I think it's a skill and a muscle that we can all develop and that we can all work with, or you can hire me to do it for you and it will still be special and unique to you. And I do not duplicate my looks across clients. Of course, there's similar product recommendations, like a great shoe that I feel like everyone needs to have, or a great pair of pants or denim that I find that just works on everybody. But I really approach every client uniquely and organically. And I think that style needs to be approached that way as well. And one of the first things that I think is super helpful in discovering your personal style is going back through your fashion history and looking back at the things that you chose, even as a child and as a young adult and as a teenager. What are those pieces that you picked? How did you explore? Can you remember what that was? And for some people, that means I had a great sense of style, or it means my mom picked out everything for me. And for another person, it might be I got all my sister's hand-me-downs. And so I just had choices based on what was available. And I think that can shape our perspective and how we get dressed as adults. And so how can you dig into those places of what were you given as a child and as a young adult with style, and how did you play with it? Did you find that you wanted to be creative, or did you feel frustrated, or did you feel like, oh my gosh, there's a world of opportunity here. I have so many different options to choose. Or maybe you had a parent that took you shopping and showed you how to shop well. I think we all come from different backgrounds and different perspectives, and I think getting dressed is a skill that we're expected to have, but weren't necessarily taught, similar to how a lot of us feel about our finances. At least me, I feel like there's so many resources out there for people to understand their finances now, but that's not something that you're taught in school. You had to rely on your parents. And I feel the same way about beauty and makeup and fashion and all of the things about self-care. Like, we rely on our parents to teach us. And so some of us were just not taught, and we've had to navigate it ourselves, or we were uniquely navigating this in a way that it was exciting for us. So for me personally, I always was excited about clothes. I loved having a fashion show, even as a kindergartner. There's a video of me. I wish I could find it, but I threw a fashion show and I was standing on my parents' coffee table and I was showcasing all my back to school looks, and I can hear my mom in the background talking about, well, this is this look and this is that look. I mean, I loved it. And I remember looking at costumes as a young figure skater and being very focused on what I was wearing at all of my activities, from basketball to gymnastics to musical theater, all of the things that I did. And so I was always fashion focused, even though I didn't necessarily know that that was what it was that I loved. And you might know that about yourself, or you may not. And so looking back in your history and looking at the things that you chose, how did you feel in them? Did you have a really great relationship with clothing as a kid? Did it feel like a chore? Did you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to wear anything I like because I'm getting hand-me-downs, or we have limited options of where we can shop, or my only option is what my mom brings home from the store. I didn't really have a choice. I think that shapes us as adulthood. And so really thinking about how you were taught about fashion can be a really great starting point to developing your personal style and your relationship with getting dressed. And so I'll let you think about that and marinate on that. And then as we go into our next part, I think look back on the things and the outfits that you created, whether it's in recent history or not. Maybe it's your teenage years and it's a great jeans and t-shirt outfit that you wore all the time that you've been trying to replicate as an adult, and navigate what it is about the style choices that you've made in the past that you like and that you don't like. And there's a popular stylist out there, Alison Bornstein. She trademarked the 3-word method, and she navigates style through choosing 3 different words about yourself. And I think that that can be a really great helpful tool. I also, just like with color analysis, I don't want 3 words to box you in. I would say that my 3 words are classic, timeless, and with a touch of trend. I would say that's who I am. But I want to lean into the Bohemian trend this season. I'm really into all the silhouettes, and I'm into how the runways looked in the Chloe collection. And I made a really beautiful catalog of looks, Bohemian inspired looks for under $300, which I'll link for you. And they're really amazing. And I want to play in that. And I think sometimes these tips and tricks that are meant to be helpful can kind of box us in. So I think being mindful of what it is that excites you can help you define your personal style. So when you get up in the morning and you're getting dressed, what are those things that you gravitate towards? What are the pieces that you want to wear? What makes you feel your best? And do you lean into comfort or do you lean into getting dressed to be ready? And I recently listened to a podcast from my friend Claire Cherry, and I absolutely love her. Her podcast is clearly stated. It's a faith-based podcast, but she had a guest on and she talked about getting dressed and being ready and what that means. And that really meant something to me. And it's something that matters to me in my everyday and matters to me when I'm working with women and getting us out of our yoga clothes and getting us out of our workout gear and into outfits that make us ready to do the things that we need to do. Because I think that style and getting dressed needs to make us to the best version of ourselves. So when I work with women, the reason I love to provide the best for them is because I want them to be able to show up at whatever it is they have to do and do it to the best of their ability, whether it's being a mom or whether it's showing up in the boardroom or going to a red carpet event. I want them to feel comfortable. I don't want them to think about their clothes. And I think that's the key to finding your personal style. What are the things that you wear and choose that make you feel confident and make you feel beautiful, and that you can show up and you're not fidgeting in your clothes. You're not feeling like overwhelmed by what you're wearing, but more so able to do your job or whatever it is you're doing in life to the best of your ability. And finally, I think the other thing that I would just love to challenge you with and leave you with, and I will also be doing this starting October 1st, is doing a 30-day style challenge where you will take a picture every day of what you're wearing and make a note of what you like and what you don't like about your outfit. And this is such a really great tool to figure out your fashion point of view. Because at the end of the month, at the end of October, we will all see a trend of what we like and what we don't like. So maybe you're experimenting. Maybe you find that you love to pile on the accessories, or maybe you find that the accessories are too much. Maybe you find out that the t-shirt that you wear with a blazer, adding a belt really makes